Heidi ho, my crafty friends. How are you today? I hope you're doing well. So, today I thought we would continue working on my um, friend Patty's journal right here. It is made of a paper bag. So, yesterday I was working on this and I just covered a paper bag. This is the inside. This is the outside. I added a couple of pockets. I sewed around it a couple of times. It's nothing real neat and it's nothing real fancy. And I added this floral ribbon here as a little bookmark. Now, I'm not real sure how... Oops, I'm sorry. I got you too close. I'm not real sure how long, I want it to go. Here's what it looks like. How long I want it to be because I haven't sewed the signatures in yet. So this is what the little ribbon looks like. So, and it's kind of long. So, I'll trim it after I get the signatures in. But before I put the signatures in, I wanted to cover an envelope. Now, my friend Patty is a master gardener. She's a music teacher. Patty is just a busy girl. So, I want this journal to kind of be something that, she can use for everything. So it's not really going to be decorated a lot. It's going to be very lightly decorated. And so, I'm not going to do a lot in it. It's just going to be very light so that she can do whatever she wants. And I'll show you the signatures after we get this decorated because it's going to have to dry before we can cut the end off. And I want to sew it into one of the signatures because I want it to be a pocket for her. So the top is closed. It's sealed closed. So I think I have. Now I'm on a different table today because I was sewing and I was looking to see if I have. I don't think I do, so I'm just going to use the edge of my scissors. I want to make sure this is down nice and snug. There we go. I thought I had my bone folder, but I guess I don't. Now, these are my fabric scissors. So, these are getting put away. Let me put these away here. Okay. Let's get our paper scissors. Because if not, you know what's going to happen. I'm going to pick those up and cut paper, and then I'm going to go, ah! So, let's pick out some paper in here. And I'm thinking I want that one. That one just looks like fun, and it looks like her. Ah, there it is. Yeah, and I liked it because of the little mushrooms, the birds. And Patty is not a subscriber because, well, the girl's like crazy busy. And I think I want that blue plaid. I don't know. Let's cover it first and see. She is like pro-earth. But she's also, well, pro-earth is like the best description for her. So, you know how I like to fold things first and then fold the paper. So we need to figure out where this is going to go. Now I want the front and the back to be different. So I need to cut my paper. Now I do have a pencil. I was that smart. And I want to kind of just cut my paper a little bit. And our garden club has a we don't just recycle, but like all of the plastics and all of the stuff like that, we don't just recycle them, but we refuse to buy what we can refuse to buy. So in garden club, we don't use plastics and things like that. We bring our own, cups and mugs. And now I think we could use that little piece for a tag somewhere. Maybe stick it in that little pocket, you know, make a little tag. Now, I think that's going to be too tall, but I want to make sure before I cut it. So, I want to put it on, just lay it on here. And before I glue it, I want to fold it. And because since it's going to be folded, I want to go on and have that fold in it. Here's my scissors. I want it to go on and have that fold. There we go. And now we can go on and glue it. Yeah, see, it is a little bit too tall, but that's all right. We'll trim it. Because we have to trim that top off anyhow, so we'll just trim it when we do that. Okay, now my glue, I have sitting on a shelf over here. Now, hopefully, the glue is going to cooperate today. It's a little cold here today for some reason. When my husband got up this morning, I just talked to him. He said it was 27 outside. It was like, good gravy. So I do want to make sure. Now, I don't have to go all the way across the top because I'm going to. Now, I need to make sure that you guys can see this because this table, I am not used to working on this table anymore. So I don't know where I'm supposed to be. So I just keep kind of wandering. It was like, good gravy. Okay, here. So, how's everybody been? So, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you've had a chance to work in your journals. And yeah, I'm probably going to get quiet on a few sections as I'm kind of try to pay attention to what I'm doing. I didn't forget about you. I'm just trying to pay attention. Okay. Okay. Now, see, I came off a little bit down there. Oh, yeah, I'm about as crooked as... Now I can't straighten it up. Darn it. Now I'm crooked. Right. So we're going to take it up. Because I don't want it crooked. Now, I'm not going to put anything right here because that's where it's going to get sewn in. But I am going to go a little close to it. And I do want to make sure I go across the bottom. And you know what? I'm going to take this off for a minute. Because those little piddly lines, they're just not hacking it. There. Okay, that's better. Much better. All right, so now I'm going to trim that little piece that's too tall. And when I do, I'm going to trim just a piece of that envelope. And if I don't catch the envelope this time, that's all right, because I still have to cover the back of it. And I'm not going to cover the inside of it, because I want her to know that this is an envelope. Oh, I didn't catch it. Nope, she didn't catch it this time. That's all right. We'll do it the next time. Okay. Let's bring this over here. Now, I think on the back side, I think I have a big scrap in here that might fit it. I was hoping I had a scrap of that was big enough, but I might not. Whoops-a-doodles, whoops-a-doodles. No, I think I used it all. Now, Patti has beautiful gardens, and they are all over her property. There it is. These little poppies. They've got little bees. And if you're a gardening fan, this is the year of the bee. All right, I think we're going to do it this way this time. And they're not talking about the honeybee, they're talking about natural, hold on a minute. I gotta pay attention to what I'm doing. They're talking about bees that are, there we go. They're talking about the bees that are, I got my paper upside down. Let's see, which way do these guys go? They're talking about honeybees aren't, I keep wanting to say local, and that's not the word I'm looking for. Honeybees, it's not the honeybees. It's the bees that are, hold on guys, I gotta pay attention here. There we go. Oh, I forgot to bend that paper. Darn it. Okay, so it's the bees that are more common to your state. There are, I think we learned last night, there are 40,000 varieties of bees. in the United States. Those are the bees that we want to save. Now, I know you're saying, why do we want to save those? Because those are the varieties that pollinate our plants. No bees, no plants, no food, no us. Those are the bees that we want to save. Now, honeybees we want to do too because they're big pollinators. But when you hear save the bees, it includes all of them, not just the honeybees. Okay, now we're going to cut off the top here. Let me find the top because this is a little bit too tall. So I'm going to go across the top. Now, I can't bend it because I forgot to bend it the other side. And that should open up my envelope. There it is. Okay, so now my envelope is open. Okay, now my envelope is open. And when this is dry enough, I think I missed a corner here. I need to put a little squirt in here. I can fold it up and sew it in. But until then, on some of my signatures, I have pages, and I'm going to show them to you, and I'm going to show you how we're going to handle those pages, because people say to me all the time, you know, what's a junk journal? How do you write on pages? You know, how do you do this? How do you do that? Well, I'm going to show you one of the ways that I write on pages when I make little journals, especially journals that I put like in my purse. I'm going to show you how to do it. And so if you want to create a little journal for a friend or just for yourself, there we go. And you're not sure. All right, so this needs to dry a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm going to let it sit and dry. If you're not sure how to handle those pages, I'm going to show you. Now, I have this little sticker set, and we're going to put some of these little stickers on the pages. Like I said, it's just going to be lightly decorated. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some index cards, and we're going to give her places to write. So, let me grab my index cards here. Well, I'm going to stop you for a second because I don't want to bump you. So, hold on just a second. Okay, so let me kind of bring you in here. All right, so in my signatures, this is the first one. So here, she could write here if she wanted. So I'm not really going to put anything there. But back here, she really couldn't, do anything. So I'm going to take an index card. It's a coffee dyed index card. And I think I'm going to use a bigger one. Now, it won't fit this way, but I can turn it over and put it this way. And I'm going to put it right there. And I'm just going to use a glue stick and glue it down. That's all I'm going to do. Actually, you know what? I think I'm just going to use my art glitter glue. And across the top, how do I want to put that? I was thinking I was just going to put notes. And then, like at the bottom, maybe put a little sticker on a couple of them. So let's grab, whoops, I don't want to spill this water I had open the other day. So let's close that up. Let's grab a black pen. Let's write on here. The word notes. And I'm just trying to be neat. you know, because I want her to be able to read my writing. And I'm going to put that right there. And then I'm just going to glue it down. And to get enough glue on this, now, because this is a shiny page that I'm gluing it on, I'm going to have to make sure I have enough glue, especially in the middle. And that gives her a place to write on this page. And she can, you know, make a note of whatever she wants. And then into this little sticker book. And I could put anything on it, you know, from here. I could take, let's see, would that fit? I think that one's a little bit too big. But this one, I think this one would fit. I could put this right across the bottom. Or I could just put it on the page even. No, I think, nah, do I want it there? Oh, I could put it over here. Yeah, I could just put it right down here in the bottom of the page. Well, I need to make sure you guys can see this. Okay. And then this is okay. And all of these are okay. Now, I'm going to come through and maybe add some stickers here and there. But the pages, and this is just from a gardening book, but she can't write on it. So I'm going to find the side. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to add some of these cards in those pockets. And I'm going to tell her when I see her what they're for. So if she wants to add more, she can. Okay, that's the center. So I'm going to keep going back and find the back of that book page. There, right there. And I'm going to put this one down. I don't even know what I did with the cap. And I'm going to find another sticker maybe to put there. Something, just something different. Maybe a blue butterfly. Okay. And we're going to hold this together. I think actually, as we do these, I think I'm going to go on and punch the holes in them. So let me grab my book. Actually, where's number 3? Let's go on and do number 3. And then after we do them, we'll sew them in. Here it is. There's the pen. So here's number 3. So let me get my punch book. Okay. Uh-oh. See, I've got things upside down in this book, so glad we were flipping through it. That little tea bag stain reminds me of a squirrel. See his little tail? There's his little head. Okay, so this one is okay. This one's okay. I think it's okay. So I'm just tapping things down here. I'm going to get to the center, and I'm shoving everything back. And I want to get everything down. Putting something at the bottom. I want to make sure I've still got it all shoved over to the side. Okay. Okay, and this one was done. So let's just go on and poke this one too. Oh gosh, that's going to be a lot to poke through, isn't it? I don't know if I'm going to be able to poke through all this. So I'm going to try and poke through 2 of these at one time. Let's see if we can do it. I'm going to lift you back up. Just to kind of keep them lined up. There's those 2. Actually, you know what? Let's just do them all at once. Let's just get it over with. Let's see. It goes this way. Okay, here's one that needs something on it. So instead of notes, let's write ideas on this one. Now, will it go this way? It will if we take off that sliver. So let's just take off that sliver. Let's just cut it down just a little bit. Now, let's see if that fits. Maybe right there. Yeah, let's write ideas. Okay. Yeah. All right, let's keep that away from the spine. Okay, now this page you could write on. It's a map page. You could very easily write on this page if you wanted. So when I put things in her pockets, I'm going to put some larger ones, and now you could also put white ones in here too. Patty's a very smart lady, so you know she may decide that's what she wants. Now this page I added a little flip out, so you know it was just a regular book page, and then I added something like this and just some little stickers on it, just something different on the page, and then back here she can write. Now, this page you can't write on. There's no stinking way you can write on that. And that is too big. But we can... What about these little ones? We didn't check those. We can add some little ones. So let's add a couple of little ones. Boy, it's a good thing I've got more of these coffee dying, huh? Let's add a couple of little ones. We'll do that. And I'm not going to put labels on these. I'm going to let her do that. I'm just going to put them down. And I just want to leave, you know, a little bit of edging, like between them, so she can see that it is a book page. You know, so I'll come down a little bit so she can see the top. Patti would be an awesome junk journaler because she's so creative. Okay, and I'm going to bring this one down so she can see that writing. There we go. Yeah, let's get any of this extra glue cleaned off. Okay. All right, so now that page has some. Now, I'm not going to put any on this side. I'm going to let her do that. Now, this is just from one of our local parks, and this was a misprint. It started out this way, and then it ended up backwards and upside down in some places. So, I thought she would get a kick out of that. But then I trimmed off some of the white edge, so it flips out like this. And then here's another book page. And again, I'm going to let her decide how she wants that one. I've shown her some examples, but I'm going to let her decide how she wants that. Okay, so we've made sure everything's in order now. We've added some index cards so she can see how everything needs to go. Let's make sure everything's tucked good and snug. Snug as a bug in there. Get back up there. Come on. There's that one. Now, I want to do something on this side over here. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so I want to try and do these. Now, this may be my doom. Trying to do all of these at one time. But we're going to give it a shot. So, I've got them all together. I have them closed. Oh, I need my book. Where'd my book go? I don't need that. Make sure they're all lined up. I have them closed, and I'm just going to push straight through until I can feel it come through into my book. Oops, yep, it's in my book. There it is. Then I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to do the same. I'm probably about an inch down from the top. I'll show you here in just a minute. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to try this again because this is... It came through there. And I'm about an inch up from the bottom. Yeah, it would have been easier just to do them all separate. Okay, so there they are. All right, so we're going to sew this one in. And normally I do not do them this way, so this is very abnormal for me. So that's the center one. Okay, so I'm just poking these holes a little bit bigger. Okay, so I just poked those holes a little bit bigger. Uh-oh, there it is. Okay, I can see it. And then this is the middle one. Okay, and then this is the first one. And as you can tell by having them stacked, it pushed that bottom hole out of whack. But I'm just lining it up and moving it back over to the line where it's supposed to be. Oh, no, this is the third one. This isn't the first one. Okay, so I am through them now. Okay, so that's 3. This is the middle one. This is the first. This is number 1. So I'm going to go on and sew in the middle one, which is going to go right here. It's going to go right there. So here's my needle. Let me grab my thread. I know, I'm doing this like all wampadoodled, aren't I? Hold on just a second. All right, so to sew these in, I decided I was going to use this braiding cord, and I'm going to use this green thread. Yeah, that'll be all right. And I'm going to need my good sized needle, but yeah, that one. And we'll see how that one does on the first one. And if it doesn't work well, then we'll go to one that has a sharper edge on it. Because we have to go through the paper bag and we have to go through the fabric. So we will see. So once I get this through the first hole, if we have to, we'll use the awl to punch the second hole. And I forgot to put this back on, so hold on a second. That is going to be dry as concrete. Now, I think what I want to do is hold this down so it's not flipping and up and around on me. Oh, I forgot to cut it. Oh my gracious, you guys, I am not thinking straight. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. Holy cow, where is my brain? I'd have found it as soon as I tried to pull it through, wouldn't I? Okay. So yeah, you don't have to start with your back one. It does make it easier because then they're not all falling on top of you. And 9 times out of 10, that's what I do. But today is that one time. And we are going to experiment today. So, we are going to experiment, my friends. Hold you still. Yeah, we are definitely going to need that all to go through that fabric and that bag. Okay. Okay, so this thing needs to stay inside because it is in the way. And I just did that wrong. I just did that wrong. Okay, now I've got it tied up around this ribbon here. Okay, ribbon, you have to stay on the inside because you are in my way. Here, sit inside this pocket. Let's see if that works better. Okay, so I went out through the middle. Okay, I went out through the middle. Hold on to your tail. Now, we're going to come in through the top. And then in through the top hole. That's where I caught that ribbon. Okay, and then we're going to make sure everything is lined up. Make sure everything is snug into the bottom where it needs to be. And then down through the bottom. And then back in through the center. Now when you come in through the center, you want to make sure that you don't split your thread. Now this, I don't think I'll split this because this is very rounded. But to make sure, I'm holding it off to the side. Okay, so let's pull this off. And let's find the hole here. There we go. And then pull it through. And put it on the other side of your center. Okay? Now, they need to be even. Oops, wrong way. Okay, and they need to be snug, but not so snug that you tear your paper. Sounds kind of like a guitar string. 1, 2. Nice snug knot. Now, some people cut them, some people keep them. Now you can take off all your clamps. Okay, now we're going to do 2 and 3. Now, because this is in the middle, I need to keep this together to keep it from being in my face. This is going to continue being in my face unless I put it in here out of my way. So that is going to stay in there out of my way for the rest of these. Just like that. Now, the next one I'm going to put over here and then over here. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video, sew in the next 2, and then I will be right back. Okay, signatures are in. And I am ready to trim these. Now I'm going to trim these, but the center one here, I'm going to take these off. And there's our little bookmark. Now this one, I'm going to put a charm on. Now let's take that one off. And let's trim this one. Okay, so I can throw these away. There. Okay. So there is that. Now that one is the one that gets the little bookmark. Now let's go on and put our needle away. Okay. Now we need to decide how long we want this little bookmark. Now, I know this is too long, so I'm thinking maybe right about here, because she'll be able to see it from the top. So I think I'm going to cut it right about there. Let's see. Now maybe right about here. Yeah, that way a little leaf will hang out. But it won't, it won't be like dragging the ground or anything. And then we can use the leftovers here, maybe to trim a page or, something like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that in there so I'm not dropping it on the floor. Put that over there. Put those over there. Okay, so I think we're ready now. Let's maybe get a couple of quick pockets in on a couple of pages. So we're going to use, oh, I forgot to sew in our envelope. Oh my gracious sakes. Okay, so let's go on and get this folded. Well, we'll just make it a little flip around envelope then. Because I am not taking those out, that's for sure. Yeah, definitely don't sew them in that way. Make your template, do what you're supposed to do, because that fabric going through the fabric in the paper bag without my template was not the easiest thing I've ever done. Okay, so here's my envelope. So I'm thinking, do I want to do it this way, wrap it around the page, or do I want to cut it in half and make them flip open? Now, since I didn't sew them in like a big ding-dong, because I wanted to put them in right in there. Let me ponder on this a second here. What would be the best way to do these? Because I was going to put small pockets on both sides. It has to be on a sturdy page, so that would have to be one of these. Okay, so I'm thinking maybe if I put it like on a page like this, and just add, I could just use fabric flips on it. On the edges. I could just cut these edges open and just use some fabric flips on it. I think that's what I'm going to do. So let's just do that. So let's just cut our edges. And we will make them flip. Now, these are really thick for some reason. Maybe because it's double cardstock. All right, did I get that open on both sides? Okay, there's one. All right, so I need to cut it down the middle. Let me see if this will cut it down the middle. Oh dear, what time is it? Okay, yeah, I am running out of time here. Oh, it didn't. Okay. Okay, so we're going to cut this down the middle. Well, that's not straight, is it? And then I need to check the time because I think we are way over time. And then we're going to glue these and we're going to let them finish drying before we mess with them, because they are still really wet. Okay. Now we have two. We can use two. So I'm thinking I want to put one on this page like that, and then oops, it's upside down. And I want to put one like, oh, I need to glue it close. Well, Lori. Okay. So let's glue this one closed. And let's glue this one closed. And let's get our fabric in it. Okay, so I'm going to let these dry before I put them on. Because the paper is still really wet. So here's my flip. And I'm going to do the same with this one. Now, we can put this one on the other side someplace. So let's pick a spot back here maybe. So we'll put this one on this side. So maybe we'll put over here, we'll put some green fabric. And then the next time we will want to get these in. Get off of there. Like that. There we go. Now let's get this closed up. Oops, I need some glue on this side. And then the next time we will get these in. And I'll get the little mini pockets put on them that I want. Yeah, that'll work. So this one can go on one side and then the other one can go on the other, but they just need to really dry. Righty. And then we can even take some of this and actually I kind of like this. There we go. And then we can add our little pocket and it'll cover up the bottom piece of it. Yeah, this stuff takes a while to dry. There. All right. And I'll see if I can fussy cut out some more flowers to add a little dimension to it. Or some bees or some ants or something to be crawling on it. Okay. And then we'll think of something to do on that one. Okay. Well, thank you for joining me today. For here at the Ladybug Journals, for having some fun and decorating my journal for my friend Patti. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you create a journal for your friend sometime this summer and you have some fun. You know, they might enjoy it. Even if it's just a journal out of a piece of cardstock. You just never know. Now, some of these are going to go in the pockets, like I told you. Oh, gosh, I hope they fit. Will this one fit? Yeah, the small ones will fit. You know, and when I talk to her, when I give it to her, I'll tell her what they're for. You know, even if it's just out of a piece of cardstock. And I do have a playlist down below that has an easy beginner journal made with a piece of brown cardstock. So jump on down and you can find it. It's under the beginners, and you can make an easy beginner journal for yourself or for a friend. And then you can, you know, you can go from there. You and your friend can have one. I was looking for that other pocket. I don't want it left in here while it's wet. Yeah, I want it to dry. There we go. You and your friend can decorate a journal together, and you can have some FaceTime, and you can enjoy yourselves. And until I see you again on the next Ladybug Journal video, ta-ta for now.